Welcome to Office Banter Box. We are here and we're going to do a review / discussion on
Talking into two mics right now. I don't know
Thor,
how it's gonna
Love,
sound.
and Thunder.
Thor, Love, and Thunder, guys. What did you think about
The,
it?
29th movie in the MCU now?
That's a good question because I do not know the answer to that at all. But it's somewhere in that ballpark for sure.
think, yeah,
Find out it's 45. Like, I was wrong. I should have not spoke on that. Know who you speak. It's kind of
We
weird
did
being
just
this
watch all
far.
of them, too.
Yeah, we did. And, dude, even though I'm trying to make sure I got this came out last week, and we're just now getting to it.
Yes, today is the 15th, and Thor came out the 8th. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Something like that. And I don't know when this is going to be released, but yeah.
This didn't make my top 10 anticipated, but I was very excited for this movie. Because, I mean, you get Taika Waititi coming back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm so glad they brought him back to direct this movie.
No, I was super stoked, dude.
Yeah.
For sure.
And then the trailers with the Guns N' Roses, dude, and fucking just,
Yeah.
like, everything just sang to me. And I was like, all right, this is awesome.
I'm a huge Thor guy. I don't get hyped for every Marvel movie, but Thor's my dude. I know he's your dude, too.
Absolutely.
I did not. I'm one of those weird ones. I don't like the direction that Ragnarok took it. Like, it's okay in its own little right. I do enjoy it, but I much prefer Thor and Dark World and just, OG Thor. Chris Hemsworth, OG Thor. So I was a little curious on how I felt about this, but everything was just like screaming. Now it was cheesy, but it felt more 80s cheesy, which is more up my alley. Even like the way they like design the colors and shit
Yeah.
on the titles. And then also, I mean, the whole movie, like, bringing in, Gore the God Butcher, dude. Seeing what Christian Bale could do, I had more intrigue for that reason.
I was very, very hyped to see what Christian Bale could bring to
Braille.
this. Yeah.
Was he blind?
I was really excited to see what he brought to the table on this.
Oh, yeah, I'm curious to hear your thoughts about him, too.
I had one worry about this movie going into it, and because of the trailers, honestly, but I was worried that it might be leaning a little too heavy on the goofiness, like a little bit too silly, maybe too many jokes, and shit.
I
So
thought that maybe, too.
I worried about that a little bit, before going into the movie. But
That's where it's going to get interesting.
yeah, so
Do we talk overall thoughts? You just want to kind of give a vibe, how you feel, and then we jump into spoiler territory? You want to touch on some
yeah, we can just
random things? Or
Well, we won't do spoilers yet, but we'll talk about the movie in non-spoiler form, and then we'll go into spoilers.
Yes, sir.
So, okay, so first of all, I read a lot of comics when I was younger.
No, you
okay?
didn't.
And
Let's call you out. It's like you literally
I'm a
never read a
liar.
comic. I've known you since you were born. I'm just playing.
so, and Gore the God Butcher is one of those villains in the comics who is like,
Badass.
yeah, he's a
And they got the
bad
right guy for the
motherfucker.
job.
And they got the perfect guy for the job. He kind of looks like he's got like tentacles almost off his head, almost like somebody compared him the other day to Voldemort, which is a
Yeah.
pretty decent comparison because he does.
He don't
look
have a
little
nose
bit-
either, does he?
No, he doesn't.
No, I'm trying to remember. A little bit of. I got some Kratos vibes at times too.
Oh, the tattoos on the eyes, I bet.
Yeah,
Right
just
here.
the bald and
Yeah.
like whitish, palish look.
Yeah, that
some
is
Quan
one
Chi.
thing. And in the trailers, you all see it, but dude, the creative decision to have the black and white in the oh my.
Whatever it's
Yeah,
called, in the whatever it's called.
Yeah,
It's,
the realm they go to, it's black and
It's
white.
dope.
And the only thing that shines in there with color is anything like godlike. It has to be like godlike.
The visuals of it, like it's almost
Yeah.
like there's particles fucking flying around while it's going on. It was very, I don't know, it added a certain vibe to the movie that I think is boom or bust, but I think it definitely busted. I know I did.
Yeah.
Sorry about that last part.
Yeah.
Apologies.
The color schemes.
Person
and
next to me was not happy.
the black and white was really awesome.
It was my brother.
That certain fight scene, which we'll talk about later, but the certain fight scene between Gore, Thor, and Valkyrie. But
The Gore Thor Valkyrie. That sounds like a dope ass club.
But
For
I
sure.
want to get out the way. Another high
Get it out
positive
there.
I have for this movie is the goats. I
The
fucking
goats
love
are
the goats.
amazing.
I
They
love
stole the
every
show.
time I laughed.
It made
Every
no
single
sense. I was
time.
like, this whole like shtick is gonna wear thin, and it never did.
When they run into the planet.
Yeah, when they ran into the planet, I was dying laughing because
was
you think
so
they're just
funny.
gonna approach it, and I know where they're like, ah! It's like shit.
And it's like
The
a human
dust
scream. It's
flies.
like, ah! It's what they're fucking, it's amazing.
Like the dust goes flying.
Uh,
It's fucking great.
But yeah, so then, we get, reoccurring characters, Valkyrie, which is King Valkyrie in this. We kind of see how she's on the council instead of like war driven now.
Yeah.
So like she's got a whole different pace of lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
We get things like, I'm trying to think of shit from the trailer. Like, so you get Omnipotent City.
Mm-hmm.
So you get to see Zeus and some of the gods, and there's
That's
one
an
in there
interesting
that's really
scene.
fucking stupid. A
No,
certain
yeah.
god in there that
We'll talk
was
about
aggravating.
that.
But yeah, they you got to see which was really cool looking. I like the design of Omnipotent City. I thought that it was.
I thought it was cool.
everything I thought it would ever be. The Omnipotent City.
Russell Crowe.
More on
was
that.
Kinda,
We'll get to that.
he was something.
But yeah, so this movie, it definitely has its moments of like absolute hilarity. One thing I will say, it's not really spoiler, but it kind of is. But the whole, which was hilarious at first, but I think they kind of overdid it, was the relationship between Mjolnir, Stormbreaker, and Thor.
Mm-hmm.
I thought at first that shit was fun. Now the one where Stormbreaker creeps into the picture, dude, that had me rolling. But
Yeah.
after a while, I was just like, okay, this joke is.
I feel like a lot of the jokes got ran too much into the
Yeah.
ground. That's what a lot of people have said about this movie.
So yeah, one of my biggest negatives, of course, of this movie is the fact that my worry came true. Is there is way too much Goofy for me in this movie.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that. It seems like anybody that's like, this is like a love-hate movie. I've seen a lot of people absolutely love this movie, but
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people be like, oh my God, Disappointment City.
And the thing is like the humor works for me. It's just like you said, it kind of
like they
like you
dialed it
ran too
back.
many of them into the
But
ground
what's
by using too
fucked
much.
up about that, though, is like if they did dial it back, what if they didn't have like a good gauge on what worked and what didn't, and they dial back all the good shit, then you're just stuck with bad humor. Like, I don't know, like some shit you just know, but other shit you're just like, that worked for you because comedy's so subjective that they might have been
Right.
like, all right, take that out. And you're like, oh, that was one of my favorite parts. So that's kind of a double-edged sword in its own right, but
Yeah.
that's what you get when you're juggling a movie, you know?
I get
like,
that. Yeah,
it's
it
one of
makes
those
sense.
things where like it's still on you though, because you got to find a way to piece it together for the viewer, even if it's tough. So got to be a negative, at least on your end. Is it on my end? I don't know.
We'll see though.
I guess I could say that for spoilers.
We can go on into spoiler territory.
All right, guys. I don't know what vibes you got
You
from
haven't seen
that.
the movie.
Yeah, but we're gonna save
Come back.
our ratings and shit, I guess, for after. You know, all that good shit. Or should we do it before? I always wonder that.
What?
Just tell
Rating
the
and then talk
scores.
spoilers?
Yeah.
Let's
And-
do it.
All right, let's talk. I guess I'll go with my rating. This movie to me was definitely silly, which I prefer the more serious Thor. But I'll say this much: this is a problem I also have, where like most people love like Dream Warriors, completely different movie, and A Nightmare on Elm Street. For me, going from Freddy's Revenge, which I'm like die hard with, going
That's
from
the
that,
second one, right?
yeah, like that serious, like creepiest Freddy you've ever seen, and then out of nowhere he's jokey Freddy. It was just too much for me. Similar in Ragnarok. While I enjoy Dream Warriors and I enjoy Ragnarok, it was too much. This one was more. It helped that it was more of the silly that I was into. Almost like Ragnarok was towing the line and was trying to figure out, whereas this one, I actually enjoyed that it was overly silly because it felt like it fully bought into what it was trying to do rather than being like towing the line. So I could adjust to it a little more. And then also the fact that watching Ragnarok, whereas that was like out of left field to me, watching this after Ragnarok helped me because Ragnarok kind of like, okay, this is kind of where we're going now. It almost would have felt weird if they reverted back. So I was easily more, like braced for impact on what was to come. And I think that helped me a lot. This movie had a bunch of references and shit that I just ate up. I honestly had a fucking blast with this movie, and I didn't think I would. I was shocked. I absolutely love this movie. Me and my brother were fucking rolling until he fell asleep. Yeah, my brother randomly was like, I fucking love this right now. 5 minutes later, he was like, I was like, wake the fuck up, dude. There's people in here trying to enjoy a movie. He's like, what? What's going on? Yeah, it's good. Probably missed saw the first 20 minutes, loved it, didn't watch the rest. But for me, dude, this movie's an 8.7 out of 10. I fucking love this movie,
Where's that with the other two?
Dude,
Or three?
that's what's weird. This is my highest rated Thor movie.
That's crazy. Damn, that's even over OG Thor?
Yeah, OG Thor and Dark World are like about the same score. I think like an 8.4. But
Damn.
I don't know what it is. Honestly, I feel like a part of it too is I'm embracing this new age MCU even more because how much I'm loving it. And then when I see other people just like, MCU's fell off, I'm just like, fuck you. So like it's almost like I'm on the bandwagon even more seeing that.
They say it's fallen off, but all the movies that I've watched MCU so far of this phase have been at least. Well, we'll get to that. Never mind. I'll talk about that.
This year of movies has been knocking it out of the park for me. It started off really slow, but again, January dumping ground for bullshit in cinema. Ever since then, it's like every movie I watch, like the last movie I didn't like that I watched, I think was Firestarter. Morbius was ass too. Both those movies sucked. Everything else over the past like 3 months has at least been good to like, damn, why do I like this so much? I don't know why.
Phone for me.
Yeah, it's just connecting on all cylinders so far this year after that opening stretch that was a little eh. So, yeah, I mean, I was extremely pleasantly surprised on my end.
Hell yeah.
Let's ruin everything.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's not the case for me. I walked out this movie very, very upset.
Maybe you'll come around on it like
Well,
Dark World.
you know, Dark World was kind of the same deal. I did not like it the first couple times.
I'll never get the hate on that movie,
and then
dude.
this
it
last
grows on
watch,
me every time.
So Love and Thunder, the silly, it was too much silly for me. It was just way too much. It undercut all the dramatic scenes. I feel like were undercut by some kind of comedic reference or some kind of outburst of some sort, and I'm like, just give me like, I don't know, 15 more seconds of this dramatic, you know, and then come back in a couple minutes with some comedy.
Oh, the whole movie was silly.
Yeah.
Other than like the opening scene, which was
scene,
very
which
well
was
done.
amazing.
Very well done.
To a certain point, by the way.
Yeah, be
which
ready
we'll get to.
for that, guys. It was a great fucking scene.
Dude,
and it's serious.
We're not in spoiler territory yet, so I won't say
Yeah.
another problem I have. But there's a lot of issues I have with this movie. Dude, my score keeps dropping. The more I think about this movie,
It's getting worse.
really, it does, and it is definitely the lowest MCU scored movie for me. And I think it's at like a 4.9 right now.
That's
is where I'm at.
insane.
Yeah, I was very upset with this on many levels, and I'll go on and tell you all this. There's not enough gore in this movie.
Yeah, not
And
much
as
blood at all.
I
I
didn't even love Gore in this movie. Like, I liked him, but we get one. That's it. We get one, and there's no more. So there is no stakes in this. Like, you don't get to see how badass and how dangerous he is.
I definitely want more of him.
Yes, you don't get to see the butchering. Gore the God butcher gods.
It's the MCU though. You never know.
But yeah, I'm gonna sit at a 4.9 until I still want to watch it again. I will watch it again.
9.5. I don't know what happened. I turned my brain off, and it was the funnest movie I ever have seen.
But so yeah, we can go on and just talk about the movie.
Spoilers
ahead for sure.
Spoilers.
I want to go on and get this off my chest.
Here,
I'm
dude, let me
so
help you.
fucking sick and tired of everybody being able to lift Mjolnir or Stormbreaker or whatever.
Yeah.
Dude. Like, at first, even in the comics, like, only if you're worthy you can lift Mjolnir. You know what I'm saying? And Thor, along with a very select few other characters, but very, very, worthy characters, were able to lift it. But, dude, everybody in the MCU is lifting his fucking hammer or his axe. Dude. I don't like that. Okay, so you got
know Captain America for sure.
Vision.
Vision, yeah.
You've got
Vision's like a special breed, though.
Natalie Portman, Jane Foster.
I got them three.
Then you've got
Vision.
little girl carrying Stormbreaker at the end.
Yeah, don't need all that.
And then you've got Thanos.
I can definitely see all that.
Thanos stops Stormbreaker from hitting him, and in Endgame.
I think where they're coming from with it, which I don't agree with it, I think you're exactly right, is like they're almost like the fact that they're letting them do that, it's supposed to give the audience that awe factor that's just like, wow. Like it's not just some random motherfucker. It's like Thanos is like, damn, he's that powerful.
Right, but if it was just Thanos and just Captain America doing it,
Yeah.
I'm cool because
Yeah.
Captain America is worthy to hold the
Yeah.
Mjolnir. Thanos may not be able to hold or control Mjolnir or Stormbreaker, but he has the power to at least, maneuver it,
Yeah.
without it taking him to the, to the ground. So,
Yeah, it's too much, but I think that's where they're coming from. It's like, damn, this is going to shock everybody here, but it's been done one too many times. I don't mind Jane Foster or whatever being able to do it, actually. Like, I think that's fine, but the reason why it doesn't work is because we've seen it so many times before, so it starts to
Yes.
wear on you. But if
Right.
you hadn't seen that, you're like, oh, shit, like, she is Thor 2.0 right now. So I think it works for that reason, but there is a little bit of wear and tear there where it's like damn, it's not as impactful or as cool because we've seen it. It's becoming, one of those things. It's just redundant, and we don't need any more of it. And God forbid if they have somebody else do it here in a couple movies, don't do it. Leave it at this at least. Save some face while you still got it. I agree.
A huge issue I had, but I loved the fight sequence, but hated how it came about. Was out of nowhere, Thor is able to transfer his power into, I guess, whoever he wants. Children army of Thors.
That was kind of weird.
I don't understand. And I know with Zeus's lightning bolt, he has, which we'll talk about Zeus in a minute. But the lightning bolt and shit like that, like it, even in like mythology, Zeus was never able to, just bestow his power onto whoever, like all around. I don't know.
I think it's more of what we were just talking about. They're trying to hype up the character, just like, wow, he's this almighty.
Yeah,
Maybe
but
too
since
much
when?
of it. Too much of it.
Like it was nonsense.
I can see that.
We'll go on and talk about Zeus because I know we talked a little bit, and I know you love Zeus in this movie.
I have some
Whereas-
degree. I have a love-hate relationship with it.
I think that,
Like, part of me wanted him to be, like, badass Russell Crowe, but the other part of me, I'm like, man, this is Russell Crowe with a fucking beer belly. Like, let's have some fun with this. And where the movie was going, I kind of knew it was already happening, so it didn't really fuck with me.
it's unfortunate, dude.
But, I mean, it would be cool to have a badass Russell Crowe appearance.
I don't think I was really looking for so much a badass, but like,
And I knew,
Zeus,
too, because of the fucking... Like, the whole is like, you flick too hard, where his shirt comes off, and, like, they all collapse and shit. I was like, this scene's going to be goofy. He's
Yeah,
not
well,
gonna
I
be
figured
serious.
that scene. I thought honestly from the trailers, I thought Omnipotent City was going to get destroyed by Gore.
You
I
think he
thought
was
we
going
were
to be
gonna
in it
see
at least
Gore
a couple
butcher.
scenes?
Yes, dude. I thought we were going to see him
Yeah,
butcher.
him battle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
And there was none of that other than. And the scene that Gore does kill a god is the worst fucking thing I think I've ever seen in an MCU movie because the god looked like an animated cartoon,
Yeah.
unfinished CGI. Like it looked awful, like a not face swap, but what's a real popular one?
Filter?
No, the one where they're putting other people's faces on.
I guess face swap.
No, I can't.
People do have a filter or face swap where they switch faces.
Fake something, I think.
Fake. Oh, fucking. I know exactly what you're
They
talking
did
about.
it in
Deep fakes.
Deep fake.
That's
yeah,
what it is.
looked like that, but terrible.
Yeah, like they
quality.
have fucking like Jim Carrey playing Jack Torrance, Jack Nicholson in the movie. Yeah, that and The Shining, of course. For those who don't get all that.
So, but the thing I think they did perfect with Zeus was making him as cocky and all about himself that he is.
Oh, he
'Cause
didn't
that
give a
is
fuck.
Zeus.
Yeah, they did that
100%.
justice for sure.
They did that perfectly. But then there's the other half where they destroyed Zeus. Gave him this like flamboyant French accent that like dude did not work for me. The whole like skirt pull up thing and then jumping down. I'm just like, dude, and then him throwing a lightning bolt through Zeus and I'm just like what is happening right now? Like what is going on? And then you get Bao, the god
Thor
of
was
fucking
so hyped about him too. He's like, "This is my favorite."
yeah.
And
That's
they-
why you don't meet your idols.
Yeah, but like that's why it kind of worked for me, just because I'd already embraced the goofy by that point, dude, and was like having such a blast with it. I just didn't care. I was just like so into the stupid one-liners and everything. It really took me back. Most movies actually don't do that good at capturing that, and that can be like cringe factor for most people, even me included. But when a movie can do what this movie did, and it actually kind of felt in the realm, and then like it's rare when I look at like not just a superhero, a hero, where I'm like, I believe this guy. But Hemsworth is, I think that's why I love Thor so much. They might have started overdoing it in Ragnarok, but he's got those stupid like one-liners, but you also believe how badass this dude can be. And he really rocks that, you know, that he's one of those few people, if anybody else, that can really rock that like 80s style. And I love watching him run with it. And all that shit with him, just like, this is my guy. And then him just realizing, like, he's like, fuck this guy. And then, like, he started acting weird, and he was kind of weirded out. Like, I liked all that shit.
I don't know.
It's a preference thing for sure, though. I knew, like, even watching this, I was like, I can see exactly why a lot of people don't like this. And this is one of those that has devastating potential to fuck with me, too. Being the Thor fan I am, but for some reason I just strapped in and ate it all up. And when jokes didn't land, I wasn't like cringing, like, "Oh, what did they even try there?"
Dude, I wish.
Because every time a joke like that wouldn't land, the next joke was right around the corner, and I was like, "Oh shit!" And it did work.
Gore, after he kidnapped the children, and he had them in that ball, and he was talking to them.
I loved his fight though. Like when Thor first sees Jane again.
Oh yeah,
Gore was badass in that whole scene. I love Gore. This is like one of my favorite villains, but he was definitely underutilized. But the scenes we got him in, like the 4 or 5, I thought he was phenomenal. Like there was a weird dude. What's weird is Christian Bale, there was one point in particular, the best scene in the movie to me, when it did feel really serious, where he gave me almost like Pennywise type vibes. The way
when
he was
talking to the children.
Now, the children, for sure, that scene's amazing, but my favorite scene, it's like more long, drug-out dialogue, is where he got them all to come back after the children, and he wrapped them up with all those tentacles, and then he was like explaining his master plan. That scene is fucking perfection. It's serious as fuck. Everything he's saying is chilling, and the cadence of his voice and the way he's talking to them, that is the serious scene right there. It's almost like Christian Bale's even like, shut the fuck up. Don't make any jokes right here. This is my time. And that scene was like, oh, dude, like I got chills a couple times. I'm like, damn, Christian Bale is fucking killing this in ways that I did not have from any other Marvel villain till now. Because like I've had villains I love where I'm like, damn, I understand their motivations and they're badass. Thanos, even fucking another recent movie, fucking Wanda. She fucking killed it. But as far as like just like the voice and like, you know what I'm saying, like that weird cadence, it was so good.
It was good and it wasn't. There were certain times where I liked it and certain times I didn't. Like when he was on talking to the kids, that it worked for me.
It was creepy.
Because they kind of focused real heavy on his yellow eyes.
Oh, yeah.
And they kept it black and white.
That's
and I'm
got a
just like,
Pennywise
okay,
vibe
this
right
is
there.
dope. But when he was doing it in that scene you were talking about, I wasn't with it.
I'm
I just
shocked.
didn't feel it, bro.
I was fucking it. We were about to watch that after this or something, dude.
But
just that scene, I don't get it. That was the best scene of the movie to me.
And then
I was like, he's wrecking this right now. Holy shit.
We can talk real quick on the ending. I dislike the ending. I hate that he got redemption. Gore. All right, so to put it in perspective, for those of you who don't know the comics, in the comics, Gore the God Butcher,
and this helps me some,
holds the Necro Sword, okay, which is the sword of Null, who is the god of symbiotes. So Venom, Carnage, all them.
That makes sense.
In the comics, Thor got destroyed by Gore numerous times, and what it took for Thor to beat Gore was future Thor, which is basically All-Father Thor, past Thor, present Thor, Mjolnir, and the Necro Sword. So he had 3 of himself, the Necro Sword and Mjolnir, and that's what it took for him to beat Gore in the comics. And he didn't even kill him. He just beat him for a while, and then he ends up coming back. But still, that's what I'm saying is like a villain like that, you cannot make him a one-off villain.
I agree.
You definitely cannot give him a heartwarming as beautiful.
It was
because
beautiful.
the movie is Thor: Love and Thunder, so the redemption at the end, which the biggest MacGuffin. I hated that they brought Eternity in as a fucking wishing well.
Yeah.
I hated that. That was so stupid. You're gonna bring Eternity in, and you're gonna bring it in as a wishing well. That pissed me off. But he wished his daughter back instead of for all the gods to be killed. And I'm like, you can't do that with a Gore. Like you can do that with a Killmonger. You can do that with, honestly, anybody that we've had villain wise. You can't do that with Thanos. You cannot do it with Gore. Gore is too big of a villain, and he's too powerful to just be like, okay, here. You know, but I get it. The title's Thor, Love, and Thunder, and Gore chose love over fucking revenge and all that. I get that. But I
Personally, hell no.
no, not for me, dude. But
I'll say this much though about Gore. Every time him and Thor went up against each other, I felt like Gore was superior. Every
'Cause he
time.
is.
Like every time. And even he was even about to die, and then Jane made the decision to come out
and
when
break the
Thor.
necro sword.
And I love their little scene in the hospital too. I thought that was good. He's like, because I care about you. Like
Yeah.
I got into that, and then like seeing her come out, it's also like that's her fucking destiny though.
Yeah.
And so like all that was touching to me, and it all worked. One thing I can't go without saying, I do love the opening where Thor just started fucking everybody up, dude.
okay, yeah.
That whole shit, dude, and the Van Damme reference shit got me
Hey,
hyped
the
from
Van
the
Damme
jump.
thing had me, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I did enjoy like the first like 10 or the opening with which don't get excited for a lot of Guardians. There's literally
Yeah.
like 5 minutes
It's
of
the
Guardians
opening.
in this, and then that's it. They're gone.
And some of them don't even get any run like at all.
No, but dude, it's pretty funny though the opening of this movie because it starts off goofy and it doesn't let up. But the beginning
I think
is
that helped
funny.
me. It was just
When he
like-
does that Van Damme thing though, like he's looking both ways, and these dumbasses are like charging full speed at each other,
Yeah.
but toward Thor, like you know.
Yeah.
But he jumps up and does it, and you can like genuinely see him like kind of struggling just a tad bit.
Yeah,
He's
just
like
holding
holding
the
it, but he's like,
splits,
"I'm a badass, dude." Was
Yeah,
so
but then it takes it a step further. He drops down and he does Van Damme's 360
Yes,
spinning
the
wheel
spin
kick.
kick.
It was just like, if you didn't think that was Van Damme, then like you know for sure now.
yes, dude. Yeah,
Right.
the beginning was funny as shit.
I was off that shit. And I was like, I could dig this. And then like the goofiness kind of was like, it started to take me over, and then I just rode the wave the rest of the way.
So yeah, Thor: Love and Thunder. There are 2 post-credit scenes. Did you watch them?
I don't remember the first one. What was the first one? I know
The first
second
one
was,
is better than the whole movie itself. The first post-credit scene, Zeus is being, patched up by one of his daughters, and
I feel like I don't remember this.
and he's sitting there and he's talking, and this is the Zeus I wanted in the fucking movie. And
Mm-hmm.
it was still the French accent and everything, a little bit flamboyant, but he had that like menacing tone to him.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, I love this. And he's talking to someone, but you don't see who it is. He's like, I
think I
need
do
you
remember
to
this.
kill Thor for me, my son, Hercules. And it's like, what the fuck? They're bringing Hercules into play, which is fantastic. And they've already said it's going to be a comic accurate Hercules, which is cool because a comic book version of Hercules is fucking hilarious. So it would fit in with the spoofing and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second post-credit scene is it's actually really beautiful. Jane goes to Valhalla,
Yeah. Valhalla.
and she sees
What the fuck does she see?
what's it, Heimdall.
Yeah, Heimdall.
She sees Heimdall there at the gates of Valhalla, and it's just
just
such a
welcomes her.
beautiful closure to her story. And honestly, Heimdall's.
Yeah.
Because the last we really get to see of him was Endgame.
It's cool to see him too after seeing like his
Yes.
kid and shit.
But yeah, so I think the post-credit scenes definitely stay for those, even though I just told you what they were. Yeah. So if I really hope you all enjoy it. I really wanted to.
I did.
To each their own, man. I'm jealous of you for real. But I might end up liking it in the long run, but we'll see. Next is Wakanda Forever, which I'm slowly getting more and more excited about.
It's not a big Black
I had
Panther
no
fan, but we'll
hype
see.
for this movie at all. Now I'm at like if it was a meter of like 1 to 10, I'm at like a 4 right now, and I was at like a legit 1. Like Chadwick Boseman's not there. I have like
it's
no
gonna be weird.
interest in this.
Well, that's
movie.
what's sad about it. Like R.I.P. for sure, but like I just never really liked Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther. Well, it's weird. I really liked him before his movie as Black Panther, but something about him in the movie Black Panther It's like
he
he
was
gets
great in Civil War.
he gets overshadowed by everybody to me. I'm like, he's like the person I care the
Well,
least
I
about.
think it's Ulysses. I think it's Claw. They kind of him and Killmonger because honestly, Michael B. Jordan steals the show.
Oh yeah.
But it, yeah.
But even
anyway.
like his like compadres and shit, like the girl from Michonne from The Walking Dead, like all of them, I was more into them than I was fucking Chadwick Boseman. As sad as that is to say, but I gotta be real with myself. When he was alive, I still felt that way. That's why I've always put it lower. I never really got into him. But like in Civil War and all that shit, I was like, hell yeah, he's great. But something about the movies, it just never really worked for me. I mean, he was okay, but I don't want my lead character to just be okay, surrounded by a bunch of good. Like, it didn't even feel like they were overshadowing. I was just kind of like, this is just passable, and like I wanted more out of it. But either way, R.I.P. to that man, because that sucks. He is extremely talented, or was, yeah. But I don't know, man. We'll see. Maybe Black Panther, the new one, will work for me a little more. Obviously, everybody else loved Black Panther, so I'm coming around to it just a little bit. Bang, bang.